over his recent losses, the Oni sent enforcers to execute anyone who favored the ghosts. The mangled bodies of the innocent were displayed for all to see and became infected with hatred. These echoes of malice threatened to tear apart the barrier between the realms of the living and the dead. The echoes of malice caused Onibi to reappear, drawn by their hatred. The wind god Hujin revealed an altar knowing the ghosts needed aid. The altar granted the ghosts a blessing in the form of Hujin's wind catcher. It could be used to gather nearby Onibi and then hurl them at an object, such as an echo of malice. Onibi cleansed the echo of malice, but there were more ahead. The ghosts continued onward, hoping the path would lead them to the Oni's enforcers. More of the Oni's followers appeared. The ghosts realized the Oni's There were many echoes of malice in this village. A massacre took place here. The ghosts needed to cleanse the echoes and rid the village of the Oni's followers. Only a single ghost remained.
Don't give up yet!
Just for show?
With the echoes of malice cleansed and the Oni's followers defeated, a path opened. The ghosts hoped it would take them to the Oni's enforcers. The ghosts arrived at a quarry, intent on tracking down the Oni's enforcers. Once again, they followed the trail made by the echoes of malice. The ghosts were ambushed by a malevolent spirit unlike any they faced before. It eluded the ghosts' attacks. They suspected that the new enemy could be anchored in place using Onibi from Hijin's wind catcher.
This end. Never saw me.
The ghosts made their way into the quarry, but the Oni's enforcers were nowhere to be seen. However, there were still plenty of enemies to deal with.
Easy prey.
As the ghosts approached an outpost, they sensed a new presence. It had to be one of the Oni's enforcers. ghost brought one of the Oni's enforcers to justice, but more remained, including their captain. The outpost was filled with building supplies awaiting delivery to the cargo. He would not go down easily. The ghosts arrived at a fortress held by the captain of the Oni's enforcers. They would use the Onibi once again to cleanse the echoes of malice and defeat the remaining enforcers.
You're dead.
Let's end this! Never had a chance.
The fight to clear the courtyard drew out
What
the
the hell
ghost's
with you?
prey. The captain of the Oni's enforcers finally showed his face, and the battle to destroy him began.
that
you.
sword!
Easy prey.
With the captain of the Oni's enforcers cut down and all echoes of malice removed, the Onibi were drawn elsewhere. The ghosts stripped away the Oni's power and protections bit by bit. Soon they would face the Oni himself. With the Oni's enforcers defeated, the ghosts picked up the trail of the Oni's general. He was a malevolent spirit who blocked the way to the Oni himself. The ghosts learned the general was encamped on a hilltop outpost and set out to find him. As they neared the general's outpost, the ghosts came under attack from a fire spirit. Fortunately, Laijin granted them the gift of his storm. It would protect them from the fire spirit's attacks. The fire spirit was vulnerable up close. More fire spirits battered the ghosts with blazing volleys. Fortunately, Laijin's storm continued to protect them. An echo of malice blocked the ghost's path. The wind god Hujin saw the ghosts near and granted them his gift once again. They could use Hujin's wind catcher to gather Onibi and use them to cleanse the echo of malice.
hunting to do.
The ghosts cleared the outpost, but the Oni's general was nowhere to be seen. The wind urged the ghosts further up the hill. As they pressed forward, the ghosts encountered a deadly new enemy that wielded Onibi as a weapon. The Oni's general had evaded the ghosts for now. If the Oni's general wasn't at his outpost, then he was likely at the Oni's castle. The ghosts stormed the Oni's castle, determined to vanquish the Oni's general. Echo of malice blocked their way into the courtyard. Once again, Hujin's wind catcher would clear the way. The general was determined to stop the ghosts and sent more of the Oni's followers to block their path.
Get ready to die!
That's a kill. Finished.
Someone there? Well done!
The ghosts were victorious, but the Oni's general was nowhere to be found. There was still one place the ghosts hadn't looked. A small homestead long thought abandoned. A path opened that would take the ghosts there. The ghosts arrived at their destination. The otherwise unremarkable homestead was covered with Onibi. The Oni's general had to be here. Like the malevolent spirit the ghosts faced before, the Oni's general proved nearly impossible to strike. Only be from Hujin's wind catcher would anchor him in place and give the ghosts a fighting chance. One ghost remains. Only a single ghost remains.
My soul is hunger!
A single ghost remained. The Oni's general fell, and the Onibi finally left the realm of the living. Now, the ghosts were ready to strike their killing blow against the Oni himself.